You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.
Hey, it's your boy Lauren back again with a special episode today. I have one of mutual acquaintances. Hopefully, we'll be friends here soon. That got introduced to me by one of the person I know. We're in the same industry, tech business. So today it's gonna be we're gonna talk about Dex, all about Dex today. Uh, Welcome Nick Steven from Legacy Dex and Legacy Dex Academy. Welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Will. Yeah, I really appreciate you having me on today, and just another great opportunity to connect with another person in the industry that's doing big things, and how we can help other deck builders around the country and around the globe just elevate their experience for their clients and make business a little bit more fun.
Okay, so let's jump into it, shall we? So before we talk a little bit about how you get into the decking industry. Uh, can you talk to us a little bit more about like why decking, man? Like what make you stay 7 years?
Yeah. So that's always a great question. I didn't grow up thinking, wow, I really want to be in the decking business. Like that's what I always dreamed of growing up or anything. I went to college, got a good job out of school, working in corporate America, and just could never really quite find my role there. A lot of those corporate jobs, you just get in the machine and become a cog and just do your thing, hopefully get promoted and take the next step. And so I had a mutual friend that was a mentor of mine for one of the young professional groups here in our market. And he knew our owner, Chris Breen, and that they were looking for some, kind of go-getter individuals. And so he made the connection with Chris and I. And it was, as soon as I met Chris, it was just one of those things when you recognize somebody that, hey, you know what, I need to have this person in my circle. Chris and I, it was almost immediate at that point. And so that was 2017. And then I joined up, or 2016. And then joined up with the team in 2017 and had just a great opportunity to continue to grow here with Legacy Decks over the last 7 years. Through all the bumps and bruises, of the growing pains. When I started, I was only the second employee that they had hired, and now we have, I think, just shy of 15 employees in-house right now, and then we have all of our crews that are out building for us. So it's been cool to see that experience. And what's made me stay is ultimately, I think it's a great industry to be in, construction in general. I love being, in the outside business. Of being able to create spaces for homeowners. But ultimately, we have a unbelievable culture here that really promotes personal growth as well as professional growth. So I know when I'm working here, I'm not just increasing my, bank account or earning a paycheck. I know I'm building myself as a better husband, better father, and a better person in myself that I'm just happier to wake up every single day.
Wow, man, that's man, y'all hiring?
Yeah, right.
So that's a few things there that we can unpack. You talk about having a great culture. Um, how important is that, you think, in building a business?
I mean, I think it's everything. You see it all the major brands that people are attracted to. You have your Apples, your Starbucks, and there's an identity behind them. It's not just that they sell a phone that makes phone calls or access the web. It's not just a cup of coffee. These are things that you can get anywhere, but there's an identity to them, and culture is that identity. And we're able to convey that across the table to our homeowners that they want to be part of us building their backyard space because we have that culture. We have that, our all in mentality, that we're lifelong learners. We're not never accepting the status quo, among other things. And that to me is why homeowners want to work with us. But then when it comes to retaining top talent, I'm a firm believer that if people come to work for you because you pay well, they're going to leave because somebody else might pay them a little bit more. If they come for the money, they'll leave for the money. And so while we have a great compensation structure here, it really is the fact that we care about how people show up. Like, it's important that you make your kids sports games at night. Hey, if your daughter has a recital in the middle of the workday, block it off, go see it, show up as the parent that you want to be. And for me, I think the work-life balance is a myth. Trying to balance those two things, never one suffers while the other one succeeds. And here, my life is just this. Selling decks and helping deck builders is just part of my life. It's not something that I just do as a job.
Hmm. So it's almost like you buy into the identity of the company, right? And you buy into the core value, the mission, and the vision of usually the founder, transfer that vision, that
Mm-hmm.
conviction down to where, everybody is working something bigger than themselves, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody want be a part of something big. So I think, in my opinion, I think it's uh, uh, culture is everything. It's almost like it's that one thing that it's kind of like a buzzword, but when you actually break it down to it, it's a way of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's how you make decision as an organization. So that's great, man. So you mentioned you were the second employees
Yep.
7 years ago, and now you have what, 15, 20 employees
Yep.
and sub crew labor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so how has that transition been from 7 years ago to where you might be, out slinging uh, 10, 15 appointment a week to now where you're a sales leader, sales leader and probably more of over the top role. How's
Yep.
that transition been for you?
I mean, it looking back, it's kind of a whirlwind to, look at the humble beginnings that we came from in our first office. And as we've transitioned into this larger office here, it's been really neat to be able to experience that. But then, ultimately it's, it's been neat to see me become part of the culture, to see my fingerprints on a lot of the different things. And that's where Chris and Amy, who are our owners, have really instilled a lot of power with us as a team, that they want us to take ownership of our roles, of this company. I tell people I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm an intrapreneur. My brand operates within these walls. And so for me, that's been probably the biggest shift, is that when I came in as just an employee, I didn't know what the long-term goal was for me. At the time it was just a job. I liked the people. And now I can't imagine my life without operating within these walls, without this team. I've always joked that if it comes a day where we sell the company, um, if we sell it on a Friday, I'll be calling Chris on Monday and saying, all right, what are we doing now? Like, what's our next target? What's our next goal? And so to be able to be a part of that and have people that have come in and stayed, we have multiple employees that are, 2+ years, 5 years with us. For the most part, we have people that stay. The one employee that the one other one that was here just before me, a week before I got hired, Kyle, he left because he started a nonprofit um, here in Greenville that he had the idea for, and we helped him build that out, supported him in that, and it was kind of his side project, and it just continued to take off. And so he left on great terms, but it was one of those things. In this container, he was supported to go chase something that might take him away from the company. And so that's always been kind of the thing here to help build, is giving people that autonomy to chase after something that's important to them. And hopefully we can continue to build our container that it operates with inside these walls.
So you say something very interesting is you're an entrepreneur. So there's a saying that if you want to go if you want to go fast, you do it with other people. And most of the big company, there's always a few number two, number three, even number four who's really running the show, right?
Yep.
And then sit on top is the owner, either the owner, the visionary, COO, CEO, whatever. And I really think that that's really important in a business to give people the power to shape that role or that division how they see fit.
Hmm.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely. And, I've been asked multiple times, like, you've been in this industry for long enough. Like, have you ever thought about going out and starting something on your own or doing your own thing to where, you're the boss? And has it crossed my mind? Absolutely. I've definitely considered starting my own thing, but at the end of the day, what I'm doing and how I'm successful in doing it is important, but who I do it with is just as important, if not more important, at this point in my life. Just like how I chose my wife, who I choose to work with is very important to the overall happiness in what I do. And uh, chasing the almighty dollar is not the most important thing to me, because I think if I'm with the right people, we'll make more than enough money.
Right, right. So all the it seems like all the role lead back to culture and leadership, right? So how has being a leader impact your personal life?
So, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there for me. So real briefly, when I first joined Legacy Decks, I was actually going through a divorce. I was living in my car for a lot of the first couple of months while here. And Chris had really leaned into me to help lead me out of those kind of darker times, helped me realize what I wanted to be in life, not just in business, but how I wanted to be for as a husband, as I wanted to be as a father. What did I want for myself? And so he led me through a lot of those darker times, and now really helps me, as I help other men at this point, kind of guide through those, those facets of their life that maybe they're struggling in. They don't know, what's the next move for me? What's the next thing to do? And that's been just instrumental for me over the years. And having someone that's just a little bit further along their path of personal development is so important. I'm not necessarily trying to catch people. I'm more like leaning to them as mentors, or they just have experienced more. So I don't have to learn from every mistake. I can learn from some of theirs. And like you said, go faster. The easiest way to go faster is learn from people that have already done it.
Right, right. So you say you told me that you do sales and sales training within the Legacy Deck Academy, and and one of the biggest problems, I wouldn't say problem, one of the biggest opportunity that in the industry is better conversion, right? Teaching trade guy that want to move up in the world, want to move up in the industry, how to get out of the field and then go market, brand, and sell, and go learn marketing, sales, and branding, and leadership and recruiting, so they can build a business. But I think the key part of everything is sales and sales training, coming up with a pricing model, coming up with sales system, sales process. So how has the how has your experience in selling for Legacy Deck helped you in helping deck builder get out of the field?
Yeah, so ultimately, what we really formed over the years and what we help other deck builders with is formulating a sales process. If you don't have a process, then it's very easy for the homeowner to take control of the sales situation, for you not to be able to track, like, hey, where'd we lose this one? Why'd we win this one? It's very easy to just be discombobulated when it comes to your sales cycle. So one of the first things that we did was we need to get our process down on paper And we did that. We present that to every single one of our homeowners on our initial consultation. And not only does that help our homeowners see a path to success, but as we're bringing in new salespeople, we can show them this is our process, this is each step, so that you don't have any questions of, all right, I did that, now what? By doing that, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. It takes a lot of the, kind of free for all that can happen if you don't have a sales process, especially with homeowners. And ultimately, it helps us identify the right clients faster. And more importantly, maybe it helps us identify the wrong clients faster. So that way we're not wasting our time with people that aren't going to be doing work with us or shouldn't be doing work with us, so that we can turn around and focus most of our efforts on people that we should be working with.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about that process of identifying the right client.
Yeah, so that's something so kind of our sales process, somebody fills out a website form or calls the office, they get our front desk, she'll go through a basic round of questions, hey, do you want what we're building? Like if they call and ask for us to build them a pool, we don't build pools, we don't do additions, we don't do fencing, so we wouldn't be a fit there. Hey, are they in our market? If somebody calls us and they're up in Ohio, well, we don't travel that far, and if we did, they wouldn't like the travel fee we'd probably charge them. And so, just those basic questions, and then they'll book an appointment. From there, our sales professionals will reach out within 24 hours, talk to them at a more detailed level to make sure that, hey, we're the right fit, what they're trying to do, outline some of the different materials that we do specialize in. So we use TimberTech decking and railing products. We love using alternative framing. So TimberTech has a new aluminum frame, Fortress has steel frame, Newcastle Steel, and Owens Corning OC lumber. So we love using those products. And so we help educate them on that in that initial call. But really, we dive in a little bit deeper to make sure that we're the right contractor for them, and that they're the right customer for us. And so we actually have a pre-qualification script that I worked out, that we kind of run through that with every single homeowner before we even step foot on their house. And not only does that help identify maybe any red flags that we may have with the project, it also allows for us to build that rapport with the customer. So that way, when I knock on their door tomorrow at 2 o'clock, they've heard my voice, they know what I'm about. It's more they're welcoming me into their home versus just, oh, the deck guy's here. All right, yeah, the deck's out back. You want to measure it and tell me how much this is going to cost? It just sets the stage. And then when we do get on site, we have our sales folder that has our documented process to walk them through each and every step of the stage. So that way, say something happens halfway through our bidding process, they have to replace a car, their AC goes out, the deck project gets put on hold. They call me back in 2 months, we know exactly where we stopped, and that's where we can pick back up again. So it gives them just that clear and concise process. And most of our homeowners have had bad experiences with contractors, whether it be, another deck builder or, a bathroom remodel, a kitchen remodel. And so we kind of try to alleviate those things for them by having that clean, concise process. And it just gives them that peace of mind. And when we start outlining that, our homeowners that see the value there, those are the ones that typically sign with us. The ones that's not valuable to, that's fine. We can't build every project in our market. And so we decide to part ways amicably at that point.
Mm. So you got since you guys probably got a lot of lead coming in, right? Big brand, been in the market for what, over a decade, maybe?
Yep. Coming up on
Over
10
the
years now.
decade,
Yep.
yeah, almost a decade. So gotta spend your resource wisely, right?
Yep.
So I operate a little bit differently than you guys, but I'm new to the market. I'm new to the scene, so we go see everybody.
Yep.
Everybody that needs a deck,
Yep.
everybody that needs a deck repair, and we operate on a one call close basis. So and there's nothing wrong with either way, right? So either I'm going to sell them a design or I'm going to sell them a deck.
Yep.
And we figure out at the first appointment if I'm the right fit or not. If not, we'll move on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's we've been really successful with that. But what do you guys do repair at all? Deck repair at all, or you ship those leads to somebody else?
Yeah, so we do not do any repair at this point. We never have, just because we never quite had the team to make that a profitable aspect of our business. And then we have moved entirely away from wood decking, wood rails. We only do the composite stuff at this point. And it's just because that's what's worked out for us. I think you made a great point. There's so many different ways to do this. You can go on social media and there's a million different sales coaches telling you like, this is the way to do it. That's the way to do it. But ultimately you got to find what works for you. You know, if I came in and I tried to sell like you, I probably wouldn't be very successful. If you came in and tried to sell like me, you probably wouldn't be very successful. It's like you got to be authentic to you and who you are. And that's going to be your best sales process every single time, is when you're authentic to who you are as a person and as a company.
So this is why I teach my sales guy. The best sales training there is conviction, which when tie conviction back to the mission, the vision, the value, and it's all part of what I teach is how to brand yourself, building a personal brand within a business brand,
Yep.
so that people know, oh, is I want to work with Nick from Legacy Deck because he helped me out, this and that. But you can't have a brand without giving people good products. And when you give people good products, and when you tie it back to the client experience, I'm big on client experience, is the litmus test is, can you make people talk about you when you're not in the room? To me, those leads are easy. The repeats and referrals, done. So 15, 20 minutes maybe. So what I'm trying to do in my organization is I'm investing in my existing client. I'm growing those people, those relationships, those funnel, because I'm a simple guy. I'm, who do doctor hang out with?
Yeah.
More doctors. Who do money manager hang out with? Money manager. So it's and again, it's simple, but nobody is doing it.
Yep. I know it's the simple things that get slipped through the cracks, and people consider the hardest thing. Sometimes you just got to pick up the phone, call. Referrals, the simplest thing. Ask for it.
Right.
Ask for the
Right.
referral. Most people want to be helpful, especially homeowners, and they'll be like, "Yeah, absolutely." Like, actually, yeah, my neighbor came over and was talking about it. Here's his number. Give him a call.
So we kind of generate a lot of word of mouth, but we have basically what I call a top of mind program. So if you pick 10 company in the construction industry as a whole right now and ask 10 client, what was the last project you done? They'll tell you, well, yeah, I just got my window done. Well, who did you do it with? And 9 out of 10 people do not remember.
Yep.
9 out of 10 people do not remember. So if they can remember who you are, and since we deck builders, there's ancillary project that they want to get done. Maybe they want stamp concrete, maybe they want paver, maybe they want something else, but at least you are that contact when they remember you. Or if you do roofing, siding, and windows and doors and gutters, there's opportunity to cross sell people right
Yep.
here. And so what we do is we send them gift, only to the people that we want to work with. Again,
Yep.
not like a shitty client, right? Those
Mm-hmm.
get put in a blacklist.
Yep.
But yeah, we have a funnel that that does that. We send basically a handwritten note go out when the sales is signed.
Mm-hmm.
A gift go out before the job start. The gift go out after the job completed, and quarterly gift and handwritten notes on Thanksgiving and Christmas. So that's like 6, 7 touch points, and it doesn't stop.
Yep.
So what happened is I don't ask for referrals when I send these gifts, because some other company they send it out and they send blank checks or whatever, asking for referrals. But if you don't ask people, have you ever heard of law of reciprocity?
Yep.
So if you do something nice for people without asking for something in return, they are obligated to do something in return for you. And what do people want to do something in return for that guy? Number
Some
one,
referral.
they buy more from me.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I want to extend this deck. Cool. Boom, done. So repeats 100% close rate. And number two, referrals could be their daughters, could be their son, could be their friend from school, could be their friend from church, could be their could be their neighbors,
Mm-hmm.
And referrals, it's not 100%, it's about 80% to 90% close rate. So compared to like a Google ad lead, a Facebook lead,
Yep.
where those close rate, if you truly calculate from when the raw lead hit the deal, those conversion maybe 10, 15%, 20% if you good at conversion. But that is not necessarily compared to like right now. If I see a repeat client, those guys automatically flow to the top because I know it, because we already established no like and trust with them. We already have brand equity with them. We already know that they're gonna buy.
Mm-hmm.
So there no reason why we should chase after the new lead when there's a repeat of referrals here,
Yep.
right? So that's the way I operate. I lean in really heavily on the client experience and make sure that our brand experience exceed even after the sales, even after the production, the final inspection,
Yep.
the quality control checklist is done. Because the best marketing, I think, in my opinion, is when I don't have to do it, when other
Yep.
people do it for me, right?
Yep.
So
I like that. I might steal some of those ideas. I like the cards at Thanksgiving and Christmas. We do a steak package at the end of every project. When we wrap up, we send it to enjoy on the new deck. So I think we got some good ideas you got there that I'm definitely want to start using.
so the reality is I always recommend, so because I before construction I used to do casino VIP services,
Yep.
so executive host or whatever. So basically what I'm selling is nothing. I'm selling an experience.
Yep.
People, the one thing that one of my mentor taught me is people will never remember how much they spend with you, but they will always remember how you make them feel.
Deal.
And I like the constant gifting is because it's cheap. It's
Mm-hmm.
cheaper than a Google ad lead, and it buy you grace because
Yep.
I don't care how good you are, callback do happen, shit do happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically pay your client to manage all the project for you. They'll tell you when something go wrong instead of
Yep.
going to Google and saying, "Hey, you fucked my shit up."
Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the one stuff where I dealt with that a lot too. But but basically you paying people to manage your company, and in an honest way,
Hmm.
like, because if something go wrong, you go back, and it's almost like the review that say, hey, something went wrong, but Nick came back and fixed it. Those are a realistic review.
Yep.
Those review will actually net you more job than
Yep.
all the other perfect. Hey, great work, 5 star. Hey, great work. Hey, what goes wrong? Because
Hmm.
something went wrong in every
Oh
project,
yeah.
right? Right. So, so that's a couple things that we do a little bit differently than I think almost everybody in the market, and there's one street that we did 8 jobs
Wow.
in a row.
That's awesome.
So the neighbor bought for 40 grand, referred to the next door neighbor. He ended up buying 3 times for me. The back door neighbor buy, and now it's a whole web of people, and there's people that
Hmm.
buy 4 times for me. There's people, yeah. So 2 to 3 times is regular. So when you think about term of like how do you maximize
Hmm.
your lifetime client value? Well, either they're gonna uh customer retention rate, either they're gonna buy more from you or they bring more people to you. So
Yep.
those are the metrics. Because the Google ad, the Facebook ad, the SEO, those should be ancillary
Yep.
to your book of business. You understand
Hmm.
what I'm saying? You kind of get,
Absolutely.
well,
No,
yeah,
I completely agree with that.
yeah. So, I don't know, man. Maybe there's a couple $1 million in your database.
Yeah. Probably is. Yeah. Probably
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So I'm not. I'll be honest. I hate sales. That's why I want to get it in and out. If you
Hmm.
my people, you my people. If not, that's cool.
Yep.
Because I get people bringing me people. So we
That's awesome.
selling from the people. We're selling from a position of power. So there's no begging. There's no
Hmm.
like it's cool. We'll cross you off the list. We'll move on to the next person, and if they're a fan, they'll sign up, they'll save a little bit money, cool. If not, that's cool, call me back. And you know what, if you do this right, most people, they'll call you back if they
Yep.
don't find anybody that worth a shit.
Yep.
They'll call you back like, well, what about the discount? You say, well, it's not there no more, but we have something else for you.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. What's your goal, man? It's 5 years.
So 5 years, I would love to be transitioned one, like you said, I want to get out of sales. My goal in the next couple of years is to get out of the direct, sales to homeowners, move over full time into our academy, where I'm strictly helping other deck builders with their sales processes, with their systems, hiring new salespeople and building that out, and then continuing to grow our LDX or Legacy Day Experience brand, to help other men just reach their true potential, surround themselves with other high value men that are going to push them to become their greatest self.
I think that's the most important thing, man, is personal development. Because the X, Y, and Z, there's a lot of people that offer the X, Y, and Z out there. I mean, I wouldn't listen to half of them, but
Hmm.
it's always personal development has always been key in everything, right? It's business, life, finance. It's always go back to you.
Yep.
Are you gonna do it or not?
Yep. Well, I mean, the reality is that the number one income stream in my life is me, and
Yeah.
I need to invest in me. And the more I invest in me and my personal development to make me a better leader, training, taking care of my body, making sure that I'm showing up as a husband and a father. We just had our son was born 3 weeks ago. Our daughter's
Congrats, man.
almost 3. Thank you. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of pressure there. There's a lot to, how do I show up for my kids? How do I show up for my wife to where, I'm just kicking ass at home? And that's important to me. And if I don't show up at home like I want to, that beats me down mentally. And then I don't show up at work the way I maybe need to. And then if I'm not closing the way that I need to and earning an income like I need to, that adds more stress at home. And that cycle just starts to fuel itself. And so the more that I invest in me and remember that I need to take care of me, the more successful I've been over the years. And that's also the nice part about the LDX community is we now have um, almost 50 men that have gone through. And so now I have a brotherhood of men that help hold me accountable, as well as ones that I can lean on and say, hey, I'm struggling right now. Like, I need some help. Like, how do you navigate this? And I've got men in my life who, their kids are heading off to college. So I can lean on them and say, hey, what do I do with the 3-year-old and a newborn? And they're like, oh man, yeah, that's tough. But this is what worked for us. And so having that type of community and those resources at my disposal gives me the hope that no matter how hard it gets, I'll be able to navigate through this with a lot of success.
Yeah, I mean, when I first get in the industry, I thought like advisor, coaches, consultant. I thought they're like, you know, who need this guy, man?
Yep.
I went to business school. I've done marketing. I've done sales. Who need this guy? But it's not necessarily that they teach me anything that I don't already know, but it's somebody to dump your shit to.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like I think in the United States, I spend over 6 figure in personal development
Mm-hmm.
yearly.
Yep.
Like I have business coach, a sales coach, a performance coach, a fitness coach, uh, all these coaches, uh, because somebody got held me accountable because within my company, I'm already here.
Yep.
So if I don't have a council, that's why they call it a board of advisor, right? The board run the CEO because if the CEO have all the power, we don't make good decision for
Yep.
everybody. We might make a decision to feed our need in the meantime, like drinking, gambling, whatever. That's the need, the desire, but we don't make the decision as a whole because to me, personal and business is one of the same.
Yep.
If you do good in business and your life's shit, your life is shit.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do good at home, you cannot not do well in business.
Yep.
Like I can tell you right now that if me and my wife are fighting, I'm not closing anything. I'm not doing shit.
Yep.
Because the cadence that you are, the aura, the conviction level that you walk into the home now is different.
Mm-hmm.
And if people can sense out anything, is they can send out people being inauthentic. They know there's something weighing on your mind. And
Mm-hmm.
I promise you, I don't close any of the job, the appointment when I'm fighting with my wife,
Mm-hmm.
or when I'm having, home problem. So really, to me, is coaches are good if people use them,
Yep. Yep. That's
right?
always the biggest thing. If you don't use it, it doesn't serve you. And things that don't serve you, you don't need to be spending money on, you don't need to be spending time on. And that's really, our biggest thing. Like Chris, our owner, he started LDX and now I'm one of the assistant coaches with that. And because we both live in that world and speak that language, we can hold each other at a higher standard. If he notices me to start slipping, he can call me on that and vice versa. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things, like you said, if you have coaches that hold you accountable and that you're listening to, they may not be telling you anything that you don't already know, but sometimes it's just that little bit of a change of them saying it slightly different than the last time you heard it, that it clicks in your head and you realize, oh, yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. And it's just these micro adjustments throughout life and throughout the seasons that you're in, that a piece of advice you heard years prior that you're like, that really doesn't apply to me. It might apply to you now, and the right coach is going to find that and unlock that for you and get you there faster.
Yeah, the right one, right?
Yes.
So so you want to move away from sales, move more into coaching, so you can have more impact with people, for people, right? And what exciting thing are you guys doing this year? Are there any convention? Are there any event?
Yeah, so we actually have starting on July 1st, we do have our fifth LDX class that will have a 1 month lead up, all online, and then we'll have a live event at the end of July. So right now I think we only have 5 or 6 seats left for that event, which is going to be an unbelievable opportunity for men to connect with other men in that regard. But then we do have and then even better is we have our Return of the Legends. So past LDX graduates are going to be coming into town middle of July for a reunion. We've got some action-packed stuff for them to really start setting some big targets for the next year, 90 days, and setting all of those up. But within the academy, our big things are going to be um, getting more inner circle members. Like I said, we're at 15 members right now. We're continuing to grow that. We do a quarterly event with each one of them, as well as an annual event to where we'll have all of those members in the same room, learning from each other, setting targets together, and ultimately building that community of people that are trying to do bigger, greater things and impact their markets, their people. Like, what's their greater cause? Yeah, we get into business to make money, but like, why? Why do you want to build decks? Why is this what you want to make money doing? And it's so cool to see on people's initial meetings with us. They're like, well, I want to impact people. I want to improve people's families, like build that space that they get to enjoy with their loved ones while the kids are still at home. Like, it's like, oh, well, so it's not about building a, $10 million deck business. You want to impact, 1,000 families. And that to us is what's so important. And, they say, change your city, change your state, change the country, change your world. Like, this is our way of kind of changing our industry and impacting our industry. So that's really the big thing for us, is just to continue to grow, working with the right clients. And that's always a big thing, that they can come hop on a, discovery call with us, see if we're the right coach for them. If we're not, hey, great, we can cross us off the list. If we are and we click and we're a right fit, awesome. Let's have a further discussion and see what we can do to help you out. So those are the big things that we're working on this year. We will be at Deck Expo in Dallas this year. We may be doing some talks there on different things like culture, like using design to sell, and those fun things. So definitely be on the look for the the Legacy Deck stuff at Deck Expo in November in Dallas. Or go and check us out online at legacydecksacademy.com or legacydayexperience.com. And we're online as well as Instagram.
So talk to me a little bit about using design to sell. How has that impacted the sales process or the conversion rate?
So it has, well, the big thing for us is it's doubled our job value in a year's time. We went from about $45,000 average project last year to just shy of $100,000 this year. And the biggest reason for that is we're using a design firm that will take our ideas, convert them into realistic renditions based entirely on the materials that the homeowner is picking with us, what they want the space to be on the back of their house, to where it brings the space to life. And we have more people see that and go, that's exactly what I want. Like, what's that going to cost me? Like, it's not like, that's what I want. You just tell me what it's going to cost, and let's just go with that. And for us making that transition, it really kind of shifted things, because even though we're in the world of, we see decks all day long. We've seen more than a homeowner will ever see in a lifetime, probably threefold over in our day to day. So when we start talking about it, we can visualize it very quickly. Homeowner, this may be the first, maybe the second job they've ever done. And by doing a design first, it allows for us to really outline and show them we know what they want because we've shown it to them. They can make those corrections or adjustments before we actually build the project. And it also helps us price the project appropriately by having an accurate design. If we do a design and they love it, then we're like, all right, we know what to execute on. All right, that exact design based on what you've picked, it's going to cost this much. Or they like, maybe we want to shift this or change that slightly. Or hey, you know what? Let's do a roof covering over top. Great, we can make those changes and then execute on that design and price it accordingly. So it's helped us just with that process of homeowners know exactly what they're paying for. And when they know what they're paying for, they're more often going to spend a little bit more.
Mm. So I think that's an important component that I want the listener to take from this is there has to be a visual component in your
Mm-hmm.
sale process. So we use the free version of TimberTech. It's limited, but it works.
Yep.
For most of the deck we sell, it works, and we do a live design for them in the home, so they can visualize it. And because at the end of the day, nobody is doing it.
Yep.
And you have to be able to tie an emotional. You have to be able to tie an um, emotional response to the final result, to the
Mm-hmm.
outcome, not necessarily the process, because you don't always remember the flight to go to the vacation, but you always remember the vacation, right? So if I think the key is tie an emotional connection to the result, the outcome, and then that is where the sale is made. The sales is emotional, and then
Yep.
people are gonna try to justify it by being logical, which is, hey, I picked this shit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna, I'm gonna, I'm gonna pick what I want or whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah, the design, the designing, having a visual component is the key.
Absolutely.
What what advice would you give a fresh deck builder right now? Maybe he's a one crew kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
What direction would you give him?
I would say ask more questions than you think you need to, and be okay with sucking. It's okay to not be great at what you do right out the gate. Like if you don't try it, you don't suck at it first, you're not going to get better at it. So, get out there, try things, and, try anything that you think might work for you. And you'll discover very quickly, like what's working, what's not working. Or you might say, hey, you know what? Tried that. Okay, doesn't work. All right, try that. All right, there might be something there. Be willing to just put yourself out there. You're not going to be perfect right out the gate, but you got to get out there and try. I would also say get into some sort of community with other deck builders to ask those questions. Ask a more seasoned person. There's a lot of contractors out there that aren't just here to, beat up somebody online like, oh, I can't believe you used that deck product, or why'd you build it like that? Like, there's a lot of guys out there that are willing to help. And that's, I think, something that gets lost with a lot of the social media stuff is everybody wants to tell you how you did it wrong, but there are a lot of guys out there that are willing to say, hey, try this, do that. I couldn't tell you how many deck builders I've reached out to because I saw something on their social. I'm like, hey, what was that product that you use, or how did you make that attachment to the house, or what did you think about using this, or what do you go through with the homeowner when you did that design with them? And every single person I've called has been more than happy to jump on, talk with me for 20, 30 minutes about it. And you end up connecting with people and realizing we do have a great community of deck builders around the country that want everybody to win. And I think that's the big thing. Like, put yourself out there, let them know you're here, and be willing to be a student. And when somebody reaches out to you for questions, that's when you get to be the teacher and pay it forward.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Hey, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
You know I'm a hustler, hustler. You know I'm a hustler, hustler.